Have you ever found yourself in a room full of people, a party, a meeting, a family gathering, and felt a peculiar kind of exhaustion settle over you? It's not the tiredness that comes from a long day's work. It's a deeper, more profound weariness, a psychic drain. You might be smiling, you might be nodding, you might be playing your part in the conversation, but inside, a vital part of you is receding, pulling back, seeking shelter. And in that quiet, sheltered space, you ask yourself a question you've asked 1,000 times before. What is wrong with me? Why can't I just enjoy this? Why does it all feel so heavy? You look around and see others laughing, connecting, seemingly gliding through the social currents with effortless ease, and the feeling of isolation intensifies. You feel like a foreigner who has learned the language but can never quite grasp the culture. You know the words, the gestures, the appropriate responses, but the underlying music of it all remains elusive, or worse, sounds faintly dissonant, out of tune. But what if I were to propose something to you, a different way of seeing this experience? What if that exhaustion, that feeling of being an outsider, that sense of dissonance is not a sign of your deficiency, but a sign of your sensitivity? What if it is not a symptom of being broken, but an indication that you are, in fact, remarkably and perhaps inconveniently whole? What if you are not failing at the game, but are simply one of the few who can see that it is a game? This feeling is not your weakness. It is the first stirring of a profound and unshakable clarity. You see, the grand stage of human society operates on a set of beautifully crafted, unspoken agreements. It is a form of collective theater, a waking dream we have all tacitly agreed to inhabit. We have our costumes, the professional attire, the casual weekend wear. We have our scripts, the polite greetings, the acceptable topics of conversation, the ritualized complaints about the weather or the traffic. And we have our roles, the good employee, the loving parent, the successful entrepreneur, the witty friend. We perform these roles with such dedication that most of us, for most of the time, forget we are performing at all. We believe we are the mask. The purpose of this play is not malicious. It is a survival mechanism. It smooths the rough edges of our fears, our insecurities, our chaotic inner worlds. It provides a predictable structure, a map for navigating the terrifying boundlessness of existence. If I do this, they will like me. If I say that, I will be accepted. If I achieve this, I will be safe. It is a game of surfaces designed to keep the unmanageable depths at bay. And for the most part, it works. The play goes on, the actors hit their marks, and the illusion of order is maintained. But you are a difficult member of the audience. Or perhaps you are an actor who keeps forgetting their lines because you are too busy noticing the stage lights, the painted backdrop, and the nervous tremor in the lead actor's hands. Your pain, your social exhaustion, does not come from a failure to play your part. It comes from the immense, draining, and constant effort of processing two realities at once. You are watching the play, but you are also seeing the backstage. You hear the scripted lines, but you also feel the unscripted emotions trembling beneath them. This is the source of the heaviness. You are carrying the weight of the unspoken. You are holding the truth of the entire production, while everyone else is content to simply follow the plot. And this unique and often burdensome perception rests on your unconscious recognition of three fundamental truths in the people around you. These are not things you look for. You don't have a checklist. They are things you simply know. They arrive in your awareness unbidden, like the scent of rain on a summer afternoon. And recognizing them is the very definition of what it means to be an empath, to be truly awake in the midst of the dream. The first thing you recognize, the most immediate and common, is the performance itself. You see the mask. It's not a cynical judgment, it's a quiet, neutral observation. You see the immense effort that goes into maintaining it. You see the settled disconnect between the words being spoken and the energy behind them. You see the smile that is a shield, not an invitation. You hear the laugh that is a punctuation mark to fill an awkward silence, not an eruption of genuine joy. You witness the display of confidence that is a carefully constructed fortress built to hide a quivering core of self-doubt. To others, this person may seem perfectly fine, even admirable. They are playing their role flawlessly. But you feel the sheer amount of life force being channeled not into living, but into upholding an appearance. It's like watching someone hold a heavy weight above their head while pretending it's as light as a feather. Others might admire their strength, but you feel the strain in their muscles. You sense the bead of sweat they are trying to hide. You feel the exhausting calculus of their every move. Is this the right thing to say? Did they believe me? How am I coming across? This perception is profoundly isolating. When you try to explain it, you sound critical, judgmental. He seemed a bit fake, or, I don't know, her energy felt off. These are clumsy translations of a sophisticated sensory experience. You are not judging their character, you are witnessing their struggle. The great social play requires that we all agree to believe in the masks. To point one out, even gently, is to break the primary rule of the game. So you stay silent, and in that silence, you bear the weight of what you see. The exhaustion you feel is the exhaustion of their performance, a portion of which you absorb simply by being a conscious witness to it. You are not tired from your own social effort, but from the collective effort of the entire room. You are not antisocial, you are allergic to inauthenticity. And in a world built on performance, this allergy is a constant low-grade fever. This is not a flaw in you. It is a clarity of vision. You are the one person in the cinema who can see the screen, but also the projector, the beam of light, and the dust motes dancing within it. You have not lost the plot. You have simply seen more of the picture. Then your perception deepens. It moves past the surface of the performance and touches the second recognition. You sense the unspoken pain that necessitates the mask in the first place. You don't just see the fortress, you feel the fear of the person hiding inside it. This is a much more subtle and often more painful awareness. It's the undercurrent. It's the quiet, persistent hum of anxiety beneath a cheerful conversation. It's the sharp, metallic taste of grief in someone who is telling a funny story. It's the deep, cold ache of loneliness radiating from a person surrounded by their admirers. This is the core of the empathic experience. It is a form of emotional resonance. Imagine striking a tuning fork. If another tuning fork of the same frequency is nearby, it will begin to vibrate in sympathy, without ever being touched. This is what happens to you. You are an exquisitely sensitive instrument. The unspoken emotions of others are the invisible vibrations in the air, and they cause a sympathetic resonance within your own being. You might be talking to a colleague who is boasting about a recent success, and while your ears hear the words of triumph, your soul feels a profound sense of inadequacy, of a desperate need for validation. You feel their hidden belief that if they stop achieving, they will cease to be worthy of love. You are in a conversation with a friend who is insisting, with a little too much force, that they are fine after a breakup, but you can feel the jagged edges of their shattered heart. You feel the raw, howling grief they are working so hard to suppress. This is why small talk can be so excruciatingly difficult for you. For others, it is a harmless lubricant for social interaction. For you, it can be a torment. because you are simultaneously processing the trivial, surface-level conversation and the vast, turbulent ocean of unspoken feeling beneath it. The sheer dissonance between the text and the subtext is exhausting. It is like trying to listen to two completely different pieces of music at the same time, one loud and cheerful, the other quiet and melancholic. Your brain, your entire nervous system, is trying to make sense of this contradictory input. And what do you do with this information? What do you do when you are sitting opposite someone and you can feel their pain as if it were your own? The social script offers no guidance for this. To say, "I can feel how much you're hurting, despite what you're saying," would be to shatter the theatrical frame, to expose the very thing the other person is desperately trying to hide. It would be a profound violation of the social contract. So, once again, you remain silent. You nod, you smile, and you hold the staggering weight of their hidden truth within your own body. You become a secret keeper, a silent witness to the quiet desperation of the human heart. People may call you too sensitive, too emotional, or tell you that you take things too personally. They are, in a way, correct, but they mistake the diagnosis for the disease. Your sensitivity is not a malfunction. It is a higher function. It is the capacity to perceive reality on a deeper, more truthful level. The world tells you to build thicker skin, but that is like telling a master musician to dull their sense of hearing so they can better tolerate a poorly played orchestra. The solution is not to become less perceptive, but to understand the nature of what you are perceiving and to learn how to navigate it with wisdom. Your pain is not a sign that you are broken. It is a sign that you have refused to shut down your heart in a world that often rewards heartlessness. This leads to the third and most profound recognition, the one that, once understood, offers not just validation, but true liberation. As you witness another's performance, and as you feel the hidden pain that fuels it, you begin to recognize something else, the echo of your own journey. You don't just see a person in pain, you see a reflection of a part of yourself. You recognize their specific struggle not as a foreign curiosity, but as a familiar landscape. When you sense the deep insecurity in the braggart, you remember the times you felt small and puffed yourself up to seem bigger. When you feel the desperate loneliness in the life of the party, you remember the hollow ache in your own chest after the laughter died down. When you see the fear of judgment in the people-pleaser, you remember the 1,000 times you betrayed your own needs in exchange for a moment of approval. This is not pity. Pity creates distance. It is the feeling of a superior looking down upon an inferior. This is compassion. Compassion creates connection. It is the feeling of a fellow traveler recognizing the path. In their struggle, you see the universal human drama, the same play in which you have been and continue to be an actor. You see that their mask is made of the very same material as the ones you have worn. Their fears are woven from the same thread as your own. And here, something extraordinary happens. The burden of what you perceive begins to transform. It is no longer just a heavy weight you are forced to carry. It becomes a map, a testament to your own survival. All the moments of your life when you felt broken, lost, or inadequate, all those painful experiences were not random punishments. They were your training. They were the curriculum of your soul. They were the fire that forged you into the sensitive, perceptive instrument you are today. You can see their pain so clearly precisely because you have known its texture yourself. You have navigated that darkness, and so you know its contours. This recognition dissolves the illusion of separation. The feeling of being a freak, an outsider, begins to fade. You are not separate from them in your clarity. You are deeply connected to them through a shared, fundamental humanity. They are simply at a different point on the same journey. They are asleep in a part of the dream from which you have begun to awaken. Your feeling of isolation was a misunderstanding. You are not alone. You are part of a vast, silent fellowship of those who see, those who feel, those who remember. So what does one do with this awareness, this trinity of perception, the mask, the pain, the echo? The first impulse is often to fix, to save, to heal, to run onto the stage, stop the play, and tell everyone to take off their masks. But this is the final, subtle trap of the ego. It is an attempt to impose your reality onto others, which is just another, more sophisticated kind of performance. The true path, the path of wisdom, is far quieter. It is the path of being, not doing. You learn to become a conscious, compassionate container. You hold space for people in their entirety, for both the mask they present and the truth they hide. You don't need to tear down their fortress. Your quiet, non-judgmental awareness is a silent invitation for them to lower the drawbridge when they are ready. Your presence becomes a sanctuary. Because you are not demanding a performance, people feel on a subconscious level that they can rest around you. They may not even know why. They just know that with you, the exhausting work of pretending can be momentarily set aside. You do this not by offering advice or solutions, but by simply reflecting their own hidden truth back to them without an ounce of judgment. And in this process, you learn to manage your own energy. You understand that your sensitivity is a powerful receiver, and you learn that you do not have to listen to every broadcast. You can choose when to engage and when to withdraw into stillness. Your solitude is no longer a painful exile, but a sacred necessity. It is the time you need to recalibrate your instrument, to release the resonant energies you have absorbed, and to return to the silent, peaceful center of your own being. The loneliness you once feared becomes a dignified solitude, a mark of your integrity. It is the quiet hum of an instrument perfectly in tune with itself. And so a new kind of peace begins to dawn. Not the peace of blissful ignorance, but the peace of profound understanding. You stop fighting the world. You stop trying to win the game. You stop being frustrated with the actors. You see the whole production with a kind of gentle cosmic amusement. You see the fear, the striving, the absurdity, the beauty, and the deep, aching vulnerability of it all. You are no longer exhausted by the weight of the world because you realize you are not separate from it. You are a conscious cell within it, and your unique function is to feel, to perceive, to bear witness. The problem was never you. The problem was your belief that you were supposed to be like everyone else. Your perceived failure to fit into the world was, in truth, the first sign of your liberation from it. Your sensitivity is not your wound, it is your wisdom. So the next time you find yourself in that crowded room, feeling that familiar weariness descend upon you, try a small experiment. Do not resist it. Do not judge yourself for it. Simply allow it. Let it be your guide. Look gently at the people around you. See if you can spot the first recognition, the subtle effort of the performance. Then soften your focus. Feel for the second recognition, the quiet undercurrent of their hidden feeling. And finally, turn your awareness inward. See if you can find the third recognition, the gentle echo of their struggle in the vast museum of your own experiences. Do not say a word. Do not try to change a thing. Just watch. Just feel. Just be. And in that quiet, compassionate witnessing, you may discover a sense of connection far deeper than any conversation. You may find that the great burden you have been carrying is not a burden at all, but a key that unlocks the truth of the human heart. And with it, the unshakable peace of your own awakened soul. You are not broken. You are the one who is beginning to see.